If you look at the Jewish nation, they were looking for a Messiah. And even today, they're looking for a person to set the world right. And if you look at Jewish scripture, it's a pointer to it. And the thing about the Messiah during the time of Jesus was there were a lot of them. And the Messiah everybody knew at that time period, does three things. Like every Messiah has to do three things. They have to fix the temple. The temple is how you speak to God, and it has to be built whole again. They have to bring justice and destroy the enemies, and they have to bring peace. That's the Trinitarian, every Messiah does it. And the simplest way to do that is, gosh, how do you fix a temple? So most Messiahs don't do that. Most Messiahs don't know how to bring peace, but gosh, they know how to bring justice. And the person at that time who was in power was Rome. So the first way that any Messiah does is they fight Rome. And it turns out all the Messiahs got crucified. So, well, that sucks. And what the people usually do is, you know what? Peter we thought was the Messiah, but it's his twin brother, Andrew. We were close, but we missed it by a little, right? Let's try. And then Andrew goes and he gets crucified. So this notion of Messiah happened like this. And I find that something amazing is Jesus said he was the Messiah. People knew he was the Messiah. The palm branches were laid, and then he got crucified. And afterwards, this is what I find funny, after crucifixion, his followers said he's still Messiah. Now, that sounds stupid because there have been a lot of people dead and his followers still said he was Messiah. So I find that weird. And the second thing I find even more weird is none of the three things were fixed. Like the temple was still broken and corrupt. There was still Rome and there was still no peace. So what the heck are they thinking? Now, we can look back now and say, well, they're thinking in a socioeconomic way of spiritual freedom. No, those are Jewish men and women. And so I find that absolutely weird that Jesus' brother James should have been picked. Man, Jesus didn't work out, man, but James should have done it. But they didn't, and I find that really weird. And the last thing I would say is this notion of the Trinity, that Jesus was actually God on earth, is despicable in a monotheistic world. And if you look at what the Jewish nation was, they were surrounded by polytheism. Babylon, Assyria, Rome. Rome says BYOG, right? Bring your own God. Like, we'll take it all. And you know exactly what the people of the nation of Israel said. We know how much polytheism is and all these other. We will never have but one God. The Shema, Deuteronomy, right? Like it says, there will be one God for the nation of Israel. And in the midst of that world comes the Christian faith about the fact that God is now man. That's silly. Dude, the fact that Jesus existed and became man would have been fine in Hinduism. We'd take him, right? We got Shiva, Vishnu, we just take that other guy too, that's great. But the fact it happened in monotheistic land of diehardness, so there's so many things as an example to me, that just like makes me say, okay, look a little deeper, dude, because something is weird going on here. So I can go more, but that's an example of what attracted me to it.